you are at the right place. My name is Deb McGregor. This is your winter series, Infusion of Joy. Friends, I cannot even wait for today's program. It is my pleasure to welcome Laurie Falk of The Savvy Elephant to today's show. Laurie, welcome.
Thank you so much, Deb. So excited to be here.
Oh my God.
Talk about joy and how we spread that and really how we live it.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Well, and the work you're doing completely contributes to a life of joy on so many levels. We're going to get to that. I just have to let everybody know that prior to going live, you and I were having a moment about New York, and I was just, oh my gosh, I feel like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where I am. That energy was just so good, right?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yep.
So we need to get people started off, first of all, with what is the Savvy Elephant? Because I kind of done a little precursor to sustainable living and eco-friendly products, but let's start at the very beginning, because I have a feeling we have a lot of people tuning in who are not familiar with you, which is great. So what is the Savvy Elephant?
So the Savvy Elephant really was a conversation that started 2 years ago between two interior designers, myself and my business partner, Lynn. And we were having conversations as everything was shut down. We didn't have work. We couldn't do anything. And we decided that we were so tired of hearing all the negative in the world. And we thought, how can we bring some positive energy? How can we bring some joy back into our lives? And we started just talking on a weekly basis and just throwing out a lot of different ideas. And finally, both of us are interior designers, and we were so frustrated with products coming to market. And in the industry, we call it greenwashing. People who say they're sustainable, they say they're fair trade, and I'll explain some of those things. But when you really ask them what they do, they're doing so little or nothing. And they can't even, quantify what they're saying. And you're like, that's greenwashing. You're saying you're doing it, but you're not doing it. And so we really wanted to start a company where it was their go-to place. They knew if they wanted a product, they could go to the savvyelephant.com, and all of the products on there, you could click on it and know what, kind of pillar of what's important to you, whether it's sustainable, whether it's green, whether it's fair trade, maybe it's healthy. What healthy products are out there are good for us that are not off-gassing, or have chemicals and toxins and buried deep inside them. And so we just started really quantifying these companies and saying, all right, what really are you doing and how are you proving that you're doing that? And there's a lot of third-party companies out there that verify that, yes, they are actually doing what they say they're doing. And probably one of the biggest ones are called B Corps. And so if you ever see a product from a B Corp, you hit the mother lode. They are like the best of the best.
Okay, that's good to know for people. So you have this inspiration. There's this passion. There's this idea that we need to do this. You obviously came up with this name, the Savvy Elephant. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about why that name. The Savvy, I kind of get, but I'm curious, like, well, why an elephant and not a giraffe?
Exactly. We get asked that a lot. So yes, savvy, obviously, we feel our community, they want to be savvy consumers. They want to know that what they're purchasing, that they're purchasing products where other people are not taking advantage of the suppliers or the workers or people throughout the supply chain, and that they've got really good products that they're purchasing. They're happy to own, and they're happy to give us gifts. The other thing, the elephant, so yeah, how did we get there? Part of it is the big white elephant in the room. As designers, a lot of people were like, oh, I'm green. And nobody was asking the questions. Mm-hmm. They just, oh, okay, you're green. That's all I needed to know. Well, that's not enough. We have to dig deeper. And as what's known about elephants is they have great memories. And so it was kind of the combination of both, that white elephant in the room, and that, hey, people have long-term memories that, you know what, you need to say what you're doing, make sure that that there's teeth behind what, you're saying, oh yeah, I'm green. Well, recycling, you have to do more than that,
Yeah, yeah. No, I love this. And actually when you were talking about the elephant, there's so many contexts to it, right? What's the elephant in the room? When as a designer, when you walk in, what is it that somebody else can't see?
Yes.
Or when you're getting products, what is it that might be missing in that somebody's not clued into? So yeah, I love that. I love the name. I just love it. So you talk about that you've got this passion for sourcing products, things that are sustainable, eco-friendly, not getting greenwashed into things.
Yep.
So what are those type of products? If I go, I did type your website into the comments. If I go to thesavvyelephant.com, what am I going to find there? My guess is everybody at home's going, oh, let me go look.
Oh, I hope so. So we have basic pillars that we try and follow, and they fall into one of these categories. They may not fall into all of them, although some products may fall into 2 or 3. But that way you can kind of pick and choose, well, this is what's important to me. And so we talk about fair trade. Fair trade meaning that they're paying people a living wage or a fair price for a product, that they're not taking advantage of them because they can, And so it's knowing that people are conscious that other people need to make a living. Sustainable meaning that the product either is recycled, upcycled, or has, full potential to be recycled. So it's not a product that's going to do a lot of harm once you're done using it. It can either be, repurposed or reused in another way. And so we have those products. We have women-owned products, which we think is really important, especially for Women's Month here that we're celebrating. Yeah. And so, yeah, we do try and really promote a lot of those entrepreneurs who are just stepping out and really trying to put really good products out there. Yeah. And then handcrafted, there's so many arts out there and so many beautiful things and traditions that we don't want to lose. Special weaves coming out of Nepal or out of Kenya or out of Ecuador. And we want to make sure that those are honored. Indigenous people have, crafts that they bring from generation to generation. And we just want to make sure that the public's aware and that you're supporting not just a person and their ability to have a fair wage or to make a living, but you're also supporting a tradition that's handed down from generation to generation.
Well, it's what's coming up for me as you're talking is I'm thinking of a particular bracelet that I had purchased. And it was, the young lady that had made it had learned this craft and skill from her mom, who had learned it from her mom. And as she shared with me, well, this is why I pick these colors and this is why I do this. And being able to hear that, it just every time I wear it, it's not just the bracelet. It's this beautiful young lady that I had the opportunity to get to know. And I imagine for some of your people, they may not meet them in person, but through your sharing of the journey of how that product came to be, in a way, we connect with that, right? Like it's a way of connecting.
Absolutely. Oh, the most beautiful stories of how people decided to either start producing or to start bringing some of their products to life is absolutely amazing. And you're right, it just enriches the whole experience of having that piece then, or giving it as a gift. Yes. Part of it is the story. Yeah. And we get really excited about those kind of stories.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. We should, I have so many questions, but has there been a story or a product that has maybe just touched you more than others? Like, is there one that just really stands out? We have to share that with everybody.
Absolutely. So we have a product on our website called Sonari Candle. And this was actually produced by a woman in California after she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she often burned a lot of candles in her home before this diagnosis. And then she started to learn how many toxins are released from candles being burned in your home. And, she had no idea that it could be so harmful. as many people do, once they get a diagnosis like that, they start trying to eliminate toxins out of their environment. And so she decided to start her own candle company and produce these gorgeous, very natural and healthy candles to be able to burn in her home. They're made here in the United States, woman-owned company, very healthy product, and we're so happy to be able to support that and promote that for her.
Yeah. Wow. And it's also to me that reminder of, I mean, here she had this diagnosis, went through a rough patch, often call it being in the wilderness for a while. And yet look at this gift that emerged from it is she was able to design and develop a product that is a healthier option for people and that now will impact others, hopefully before they would even get to that type of a diagnosis, right?
Absolutely.
But it's a change that people can make in that moment. So I love that. So you already just gave us one example of a product that we might find on your website, which are the Sonari candles.
Right.
What are some of the other types of products? Because we've gone through, they're going to be fair trade. There's sustainable components. There's right. So we've gone through that piece. Now let's get really specific. Sonari candles might be one thing that would people find. I was intrigued with the toothbrushes. I don't know why, but
the Echo toothbrushes, they're fabulous.
We all use a toothbrush, right? Like we all use a toothbrush, and so many times I've used a toothbrush and I think, when I go to toss it out, I'm thinking, really? There's no sustainable component to this. It's not something, right? The typical one I use is not a recyclable thing. And then I go to your website and I see these toothbrushes and I'm like, hello, how genius, right?
Yeah.
And I think about, I've done a lot of work in Kenya and I think about some of the remote areas and they're coming up with sustainable options, right? They don't have access to all of the normal ones, the typical ones that we purchase. So that's, hey, Jocelyn is on. Say hello to Jocelyn.
Hi, Jocelyn.
So Joss, thanks for joining us today. So toothbrushes is obviously another one. What are some other examples of these type of products we can expect to find?
Well, of course, we have several water bottles on there because water is so important to all of us. It's important to our health. And so as we always promote any type of healthy living, water is important. And what we drink it out of is important, the type of container. So we're, as a society, we're being known right now as the plastic society. And so how do we step away from that? So it may not have BPA in it, but that doesn't mean everything in that plastic container might be healthy for you either. Yeah. So, and for each individual, it's different. So that's a great product that we have in our line. Beautiful, beautiful bottles. We have a lot of those techniques, baskets where you have this beautiful weaving technique that has been handled down from generation to generation. And they're just gorgeous. We have woodworking on there where you've got these gorgeous salad bowls, salad tongs, different pieces. And they're, they're created with love and by hand. And it's just a beautiful story on how they're produced. So there's so many products, blankets and from Ecuador that are hand woven by individual people. And the patterns are very common to the area, to the different, people. And so it's a beautiful story, and how they were discovered is kind of an actual love story between the couple who own them and produce them and bring them to the United States. So it's just very fun. There's a lot of joy and happiness in that whole story.
How do you identify these products? Is this something that someone says to you, hey, you should look at carrying this product, or is it you just are out and you see something? I'm actually really curious about that because, I mean, obviously a person could have hundreds of products. You have to start somewhere. How do you find the next product?
Yeah, and that's a really great question. And I have people all the time when they find out about the Savvy Elephant and what we're doing, they're like, oh my gosh, I love this product. You have to call them. You have to find out. So that is a great way. We're always looking for that. You can always, on our website, you can always contact us. If you've got somebody you want us to check out, somebody you want us to promote, I am happy to go in and take a look. We do a lot of research. We're on the internet all the time doing research. And then we're contacting these companies. If they're not third party certified, we're contacting them and saying you're sustainable. What can you give me some instances, and do you have any third party verification that can verify this? And so we dive deeper. We're not just taking their word for it. It's, I need to see the results of what you're saying. How can you quantify this? How do I know you're actually doing this? And a lot of people now on their websites are starting to put like action plans and their performance reviews on how they're doing, how they're hitting their marks and their goals. And it's very exciting to see companies who really want to be known as, we're not just saying it, we're doing it.
Yes, absolutely. And it's, as you're talking, I'm like you're a game changer. I believe that companies like the Savvy Elephant are going to change the way that we purchase, change the way we look at products we put in our home. And I feel like there's this direct connection between what you're doing and I'm going to call it the simple lifestyle. This where everybody's getting to this minimalist concept, right? Absolutely. What you're doing ties perfectly into that, because when we start to look at, okay, what do I want to surround myself with? What do I want in this space? I believe people are choosing to invest their money not just into quality products, but putting their money into the social aspect, the social cause aspect. And the Savvy Elephant is just a perfect example of that.
Yeah, we have amazing companies on our websites that really are promoting, fair wages to their workers, livable wages, and that's such an important term, livable. And they can actually have a life with the wage they make. They don't have to go out and get a second and a third or a fourth job just to make ends meet, and that's what I think we forget about sometimes is, the CEOs, the CFOs, and the COOs, they're making these great big salaries, but all the people who are working so hard under them, a lot of times aren't not seeing that kind of money.
Yeah.
And Boy. So we just really love hearing the stories of people who are out there and they're really, their people are so important to them and they want to share what is going on in their company with their employees. Yes. They want them to be completely, invested in the company because the company's invested in them.
Absolutely. You're right. As you were talking, I had a scene that just kind of flashed in my mind. I do a lot of work in Kenya, and there was we had actually gone to visit where they the tea plantation, the tea areas. Yeah. And so we're walking through the area, and all these individuals are working in the field and working so hard in this hot sun. And there was one woman, she was very pregnant. And had another little one in tow. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness. And she's working so hard, and there's a special way and everything. And the gentleman that was giving us the tour said, how much do you think these individuals make? And we just kind of started tossing, and it was not even near what because I already knew I had adjusted, right, based on some other stuff I knew. Right. And I mean, I like literally started crying, and I said, oh, I just want to go it really hit me. It really, really hit me, especially as we were buying the tea from that particular spot. I just kept thinking to myself, okay, I'm paying this. Who's really making the bulk of the money from this? It's not that woman that I just saw. And anyway, it also reminded me of how hard people work when they have to, like, this is for her. This was her sustainable life, right? Like, this is what she had to do. And that really had an impact on me. So I love that you are so committed to the fair wage, a livable wage. I want to make sure, because what is fair? Livable wage really there's a context to that word. And we could probably do a whole video just about that.
We could.
So you mentioned that you also do this interior design. So I'm kind of curious about this, just to let people know, because obviously not everyone lives in New York. So is this something where when you go in an interior design, do you only work with the products that Savvy Elephant would work with? Or in that case, do you actually more do a combination. It's probably hard to have couches from every, I mean, there is, right? So let's just kind of fill that gap for people who may be wondering.
Our goal is to eventually just completely work with items that we sell. Right now, as we're building up more inventory all the time and more companies and getting them on board, we are still substituting, but we're pushing our companies. If we don't ask the companies we're working with, what are you doing? They're not going to change. So part of it is having the conversation and say, hey, I'm looking at this sofa, but I'm also looking at this sofa from this other company, and this is what they have to offer. But their construction is very similar. So why shouldn't I buy theirs? Why should I buy yours?
Yeah.
And letting them know that these things are more and more important all the time, and they need to step up their game.
Yeah. And I think we are going to see that. I think as more and more people are asking for it, requesting it, and dare I say, maybe even demanding it, because at some point it kind of moves up that threshold. I think that's going to be really important. I almost don't even want to put you on the spot with this question. So if you feel like it's too much on the spot, you can tell me.
Sure.
Do you have a favorite product that you sell that you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so all about this? Or do you not want to name it because you don't want to offend anybody?
I would have to say probably one of my favorites is our Masaya furniture. It's such a beautiful furniture line, and they're very unusual kind of statement type pieces.
Yes.
So if you get on there and look at the website, I mean, these pieces, the colors, the patterns, I mean, they just make me smile every time I see them. And again, they have that sustainable component.
Yeah.
And they're just, they plant all of these trees to cover all of the wood that they're using. And again, it's ancient weaving methods and patterns that they're using. And so many things talk to, what gets us excited about being part of the Savvy Elephant. And so it's just gorgeous, gorgeous furniture.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Armistea. Did I say that right? I want to make sure. Okay.
Masaya.
Can you spell that?
Masysa.
Okay. I thank you for spelling that, because I was trying to write what I thought I was hearing. And of course, we're on video too, right? We're not in person. And it's on the Savvy Elephant site. If people go on there, they can also find it. See, this is why I'm so excited to have this conversation with you, because I think sometimes people don't know that they have another choice. They don't know that this is another option. And I'm even thinking I have a lot of friends who work in the interior design industry, and they're probably going, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this was out there. I would love to be encouraging clients with some of these products and what you're offering. And I think that is also so important for people to know as well. As you were talking about that, so my brain is like, okay, there's just so many things we could talk about. Mm-hmm. I love that as you started talking about the furniture, you said, it just brings a smile to my face. Can we just take a minute to talk about your space matters? What you put in the space matters. Can you just speak to that? Because I think sometimes my husband and I just had this conversation. We've been in a little bit of scarcity mode, and we are shifting that mode, because we've been with the hand-me-down furniture that we got from the grandparents, because of course, when we got started, we couldn't afford it, right? You know this story, right?
I do.
So we actually had, I'm going to say, a come to Jesus talk with ourselves, and just basically said, you know what, this is scarcity. We barely ever invest in our own selves for things that bring us joy in our own space. And yet we are all about joy all the time. Can you speak to that for people who may be kind of trapped like I was?
Yeah. Well, it's so funny, just the way that entire statement of what brings you joy. The first thing I ask my clients when I meet them, what brings you joy? Now, for every client, that's completely different. For some, it's their children. Some, it's their grandchildren. For others, it's their spouse, significant other. Everybody has it. For another person, it's travel. And so for each individual, that's a different answer.
Yes.
And I try to build off of that. I had one young lady, and she's like, you know what? Going to the spa and relaxing, being rejuvenated brings me joy. Fabulous. Guess how we reinvented her master bath and bedroom? Absolutely. We made sure that we hit all the spa points. And she said to me on numerous occasions, I don't need to travel to a spa. I have it right here, you know? But it does. It's seeing that one beautiful piece, knowing the story behind it brings a smile to your face.
Yes.
Before I got on today, for me, it was snowing here today, these big, huge, gorgeous flakes just slowly falling. And I took a moment just to enjoy that moment.
Mm,
Those
I love
types of
that.
things bring me joy. It's the little things that I really love. And
Yes.
so, yeah, that's important. And it's so
Yes.
important, I think, especially, you know, with everything going on in the world. And part of it is how we react to it, how we choose to react to it.
Yes.
And it's so important to have those moments of being grateful
Yes.
that really gets us focused on that makes me happy. That brings me joy. That snowflake watching it tumble to the ground brought me a moment of joy I can't explain.
I love it. And
I love it.
being present. I hear you. You're being fully present in that. And what I love about the Savvy Elephant is that when you go onto your website, there it actually draws you in. You can visualize yourself being fully present with the products that you have,
Mhm.
fully present sitting in this piece of furniture, fully present in some of the hanger for the plants. You know,
Yeah.
there's so many different things. The Sonari candles that you were talking about, you know, as you're sitting there and the flame is flickering and you're watching it, not only are you not worried about those toxicity pieces, but you are actually enjoying the flame and what's emerging. I mean, there's so much. My goodness. Oh my gosh. Now, here's another thing that brings me joy. You are offering something special to those who are watching this video that are purchasing. So do you want to tell them what the little joy filled special is?
Absolutely. So we're so grateful that you tuned in and listened today. And so we just want to offer an extra 10% discount code that'll start right after the program and go through the end of the month. And if you, in the discount code, if you use JOY, JOY 2022, so JOY 2022, you'll get an extra 10% off of all of your purchases. And then we also have another little special that we want to talk to you about. We're very excited. We also want to give a 30-minute free consultation for interior design on anybody who goes onto the website and signs up for our newsletter. And
Wow.
so what we'll do is we'll do a drawing with all the people who sign up, and we'll pick one lucky winner for a 30-minute consult.
Oh my, everybody right now is going, wait a minute, I want to be the person.
Let's do it.
So where would they go to sign up for the newsletter? Is it right on the savvyelephant.com?
Yep. If you go onto our website, it's right on the homepage there, and you can find it in several spots there. So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, sign up for that free 30-minute free consult. It'll be a drawing. We'll pick one lucky winner.
Oh my gosh, I mean, really, that's an amazing deal for people to go on. And it's not just that, though. Your newsletter is filled with tips. It's got great decorating, great savvy tips, and great information on some of the newer products, some of the story, the background, blogging. I mean, you do it all. I mean, it's a great newsletter for people to explore anyway. Whether or not you get the consultation, that would be great too. But I'm sure that they can sign up for that as well, though. If people are interested in hiring you for a consult, no matter where you live, correct? You can do that anywhere.
Right. We can do virtual consult anywhere. It doesn't matter where you live. You don't have to be here in New York. You don't have to be, no, it doesn't matter. We'll definitely work with you.
Which is so savvy of you. Oh, thanks. Joss put in the address for us again too. She put it in and it looks much better than how I put it on. Thanks, Joss. Thanks for having our backs all the time. She's amazing. And that 10% off, just reminding you, go to the Savvy Elephant, 10% off. Put in your code JOY 2022. Friends, I actually think your prices are very reasonably priced already because of when you start looking at fair trade, organic, sustainable, all of that, right? There are individuals who could actually choose to take advantage of it. You're not. And that's one thing I really appreciate about you. And it's one of the reasons I wanted to invite you to come on today, because we just have a lot of shared core values around this. And I just want to encourage people, get on that website and check it out and take advantage of that coupon because this is a good deal. It really is a good deal. And I mean, at a minimum, get yourself one of these toothbrush sets. It's just like they're amazing.
They really are.
one more thing we have to mention. I almost forgot this, and I'm glad that it just ringed. You also do like gift baskets where you will ship out. So let's say you just want to thank a friend or a special birthday gift, or you're a corporation and you want to do something very unique. Can you just at least let us know, is that something they would email you about, or how should people set that up?
Absolutely. We have some set gift baskets right on our site. So a lot of times, you can divide it out by how much you want to spend, and you'll see some of the breakdown of some of the gift baskets that are there. Most of those are very, healthy, sustainable type products that we put together. But if you have a special wish of, hey, this is this client's personality, or this is the person I would love to thank, and this is kind of what they get excited about, what would you suggest? We can put something together for you and then ship it out from there. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, and you and I had been talking about that because I often do special things for groups or et cetera. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, because this is definitely something that I do. Yeah. And people are looking for something unique.
Yes.
And especially when that core value alignment is there, when people are concerned about fair trade and organic, and they're concerned about sustainable. And like you said, they don't want to be greenwashed. People are tired of being lied to. I think
absolutely.
People are tired of being lied to. And so when you find a company that you can trust and people that you can really connect with, it makes all the difference for people, right? It just makes all the difference.
Absolutely does, because I think that's where we were coming from too. We are tired of people just talking, but not really walking the talk. Yeah. And we really wanted people who not only were walking the talk, they were backing it up. They had 30 parties coming in, verifying what they were doing. And so you can trust that, this is happening. It's real.
Yes.
And so, absolutely. Yeah, we wanted products that we felt good about. We wanted to feel good about. Yeah. Anytime you go on here, these have all been verified. Yes. Everything that we're saying about these is all completely verified.
Which we love.
Yeah.
Yay to verification for sure. Well, Laurie, I just cannot thank you enough for coming today to talk about the Savvy Elephant. You are amazing. You have completely inspired me today to just, like, what I love is that you had a call in the world. You're doing that. You are like, this is your purpose. Like, this is, you probably have a million purposes, but this is one of your key ones. Absolutely. And you said yes. And you took on that and you are making it happen. And I just have so much respect for that. And it's inspiring to see a female entrepreneur who has had this vision, is making it a reality. And I just want to say, like, kudos to you. This is amazing.
Thank you. We are just, we're all in. We really want people to be able to, life is busy. We just want people to be able to go to one place. Hey, I can look at these products and I can feel good about them.
Yes, absolutely. No, it's amazing. So thank you so much. Reminder, everyone, thesavvyelephant.com. Get 10% off by putting in Joy 2022. And do not forget to sign up for the newsletter to get yourself into the drawing for a 30-minute interior design consultation. Oh, I think that sounds amazing. So, Laurie, thanks again for joining us. I just feel really blessed to have been with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thank you to all of you for choosing to join us today. This has been your winter series, Infusion of Joy, with Laurie Falk of The Savvy Elephant. Next week, we've got Arnold Volker with Inventor You. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's all about inventing you, and you're going to love it. All right, friends, have a beautiful day filled with abundance, blessings, peace, and joy. We'll see you again next week. Bye.